Welcome to Spin Sessions with myself, the one and only Vic Pardal, lightest white pearl on African soil. Yes, this is our very first edition. What do we want to achieve? It's an open platform. We're going to engage in a conversation between all the people, all the community members, and everybody that's involved in the sport of spinning, the fastest growing sport on this African continent. We're here to illuminate and highlight this sport from all angles, different shades, tires, and pitches. We're going to highlight the heroes, the spinners, the promoters, the tire changers, and the venue owners. We're here talking about different tires, different engine conversions, and what is your favorite pitch. We're here to talk about all things spinning, and I'm just the guy who's going to be asking the questions for the answers you want to hear. So for all those people across the pond, not on this African continent, let me give you the quick breakdown of spinning. Every once in a while we find ourselves in open ground, we call it the pitch. Various contenders, otherwise known as gladiators and spinners, they enter the pitch like the one behind me. They will then have 3 to 5 minutes to perform a whole bunch of stunts, tricks, and precision driving, as you see behind me. All they gotta do is make the crowd go absolutely wild. The more smoke, the more danger, the more speed you carry your team, the more the people are gonna clap and scream your name. That is a quick introduction into the world of spinning. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by the legendary Magesh Ndaba, otherwise known as King of Spin, aka King Gesh. What's happening, Magesh?
I'm good, and how are you, my brother?
I'm very, very blessed and graced by your presence here in the studio.
Thank you for inviting me.
Magesh, me and you go way back, homie. Way back to the days of like West Bank Raceway, and even before that, when there were casual street meets of informal drag racing as well as spinning on the streets. You know, it happened. It was a part of a history. We can't deny it.
Yes.
So I just wanted to let the viewers know how far you've come, where you started, and just engage in a casual conversation.
Yeah.
So tell me, Magesh, first and foremost, how did spinning start for you? How did you get involved?
It's for the love of cars, man. Back in high school, I used to own a 2-door Golf. Yeah, I think I was about 17 years old.
All great oaks start with VWs, just say putting it out
sure.
there.
So then that Golf gave me problems. Then I had to buy myself a 318, a slat 318.
I'm a four-cylinder.
A 4-cylinder. So that engine died.
Quickly.
It died. I killed that engine. I had a problem with what you call this. What is it? Those oil.
Wash plugs. Oh, you can slat it in Zulu. We're all good. There's no cutting here. You can slat it in Zulu. It's all good.
Yo,
So you killed the motor. Tell me, carry on.
Yeah, I killed the motor. Then I had to look for another motor. Then I was lucky. Then I got a Road IS. Then fitted a 2.7 engine from the front to the back. I got everything.
Was that the silver body that we know you to spin? The normal E30 that you've been spinning for the last
No. It was a white cabriolet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
a cabriolet. 1992, 318. Then I converted it to a 2.7. That's when I started to spin. And back in, I think it was 1998, 1999, we used to go to Eriton. There was another place called Eriton.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the days, there was no Share World.
Yeah.
There was no Wheels and Smoke. There was no West Bank. So we used to go there every Thursday night.
Really?
So
my first spinning experience was Share World. That's where spinning was born for me personally. So I didn't even know that there were regular meets. I knew they were spinning on various corners, various celebrations, but I wasn't aware there were regular meets already happening all the way back to 1998, 99.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Spinning has been there
For a long time.
For a long time, because like we used to, if they block us in Eriton, we used to go to another place. We had alternative place, Industria. We used to go to that other site, Industria. Then if they block us at Industria, we go back there. But up until Share World was born, then there was Share World. Then we started spinning at Share World. Then I was driving the silver PM325.
That you have now, the one we've come to know and respect.
Yes. Since back then, yeah.
So who were the personalities that you were spinning with before Share World? So the guys that you were spinning with in Eriton back in the day.
We were spinning with Bubezi. Bubezi was there driving a PZZ.
See, that guy opened up the world for me, man.
Yeah, PZZ was there. We had Ngamla. Yeah, we call it, back in the day, we used to call him Tabo. He was driving, that's how I got to know him, because he was driving also a slat, a gold slat. They used to call him Tabo back in the day. So that's how, his registration number was KPZ.
Sure.
So that's how I got to know him, the guys. Then there was another white IS, LPJ. I forgot the guy's name. Then we had Tabi.
Yeah.
Tabi was driving the red IS.
I know Tabi.
You know, the Malibongwes were there. You know, the Topias were there. Yeah, so those were the guys.
So let's fast forward to Sheerworld, because Sheerworld for me is a very dominant birth of spinning on a commercial level. So let me ask you a question. In your eyes, and who, in your opinion, who was the first person to launch stunts in spinning? What I mean by that is, who was the first to jump out of a car?
That's an easy question for me.
For me too, but I want to know if we have the same answers.
Yeah. Let me say this, Vic, in front of everyone today. Long before Sheerworld, it used to be Bubezi.
Yeah.
Bubezi used to do, you know,
listen, I got to give that oak props. I don't even want to disturb you, but Bubeshi, that oak was the first oak I saw live in a 325, two-door, jump out of the car, jump over the roof and getting back in the car. That oak for me was just like Superman of the era. So I'm glad that our answers are in line.
Yes, long before that, Bubezi used to take out his hands from his IS when we were spinning in R10, in a PZZ. We used to go crazy when Bubezi did that. He used to like, come spin, spin, spin. Then he used to let go of the steering. Then the car would spin, spin, spin. As the car loses control, then
catch it again.
Yeah, with his red IS.
Would you say Bubeshi was a mentor for you? Someone that you looked up to?
Yeah, because we used to wait for him.
He was like the headliner of the show.
Back in R10, he used to come in late with his car.
Yeah.
Because in my township, I was the only one that was spinning. So I used to get my own crowd supporting me going to R10. Not Sheerworld now, R10. We used to be like 20 cars supporting one guy with the slat. Me alone.
Sure.
Going there, showing, representing Israel, the boy from the East doing, you know, I still have tapes.
Tape. When you say tapes, you're definitely talking about like VHS vibes.
VHS, Baba.
The good old 90s, VHS,
yeah. So like, man, hey. Then fast forward to now. Me going to West Bank. How I got to West Bank, I killed my engine, my 2.7 engine in a silver PM.
Yeah.
Then I took my car to Chuntech.
I'm a Sean Singh.
Yeah, Sean Singh. Yeah, Sean Singh did the conversion for me. I was the first person to drive a 2.9 back in the day. When my car died, Sean Singh told me about the 2.9 because I wanted to race and spin at the same time.
You wanted to have an all-round kind of car.
All-round car. Yeah, then he said to me, you know what, there's this 2.9. I didn't understand what 2.9 was back in the day. But I said, you know what, do it. He charged me 15 grand.
Back in the day, that was a good price.
Yeah, and it was a lot of money back in the day. So I had to hustle to get that cash together. Then I gave him the money. Then as he finished my car, then I had to run my motor in. Then I went to Durban, came back.
One shot.
Yeah, one shot.
Ready for the weekend.
Ready for the weekend. Then he said to me, you know what, I think you must go to West Bank to test your car there.
To our playground.
Yeah. Yes. Then he said to me, you know what, once you get there, try and raise the Golf 5s because the
GTIs,
the GTIs,
were fresh back then, 2005, 2006.
Yes. Then he said, you know what, try and raise them and see. Then when I got there, I remember there was this, I forgot his name, but the Indian folk.
Yeah.
Then he came to you. Then as I queued on the line, then when it was about my turn, I think he mentioned something to you that, you know what, this guy, I think it's Ismail. Yes, this guy wants to entertain before he races that car.
Yeah.
Then that's how I got to know Victor Ruco Roberto Pardal.
Talking about West Bank, so I always said that West Bank was the mainstream stage and race arena that launched spinning on a commercial ground. Don't get me wrong, spinning has always been around way before our day, like you just said. but I feel that Westbank Raceway was the platform that launched spinning across all ages, faces, and races. You know, it was a weekly event every single Wednesday. It attracted crowds of between 8 to 15,000 on a regular, as you well know. So I feel that Westbank gave a good platform for up-and-coming spinners like yourself. In speaking about that subject, I just want to let the viewers know that Magesh Ndaba was the first sponsored spinner in South Africa. Do I stand to be said that right?
Yes, you're right.
So Magesh, your first sponsorship, if I stand to be corrected, was by Yokohama, which was a corporate attire brand supplier. How did that sponsorship come about, and what did you reap from that?
My sponsorship with Yokohama came through Westbank Raceway because before going to Westbank, spinning died after they closed Sherwood.
Okay.
There was no spinning anymore.
There was no venues, or there was no legal safe venues to compete in.
Spinning was done only
on the street corners in between drags.
Yes. Now then it was a time for me to go to Westbank. Then I think from where I am today, looking back at what happened, I think spinning. I won't say spinning died, but I think spinning went to exile.
It just lost momentum, maybe.
Yes, it lost momentum. Went to exile, then I came, then I was a main entertainer at Westbank.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I gave life back to the spinning. Because since you've mentioned that I was the first person to be sponsored.
Correct.
When the other spinners saw that Magesh has been sponsored, now they also wanted that for themselves. Absolutely. They came out from exile, then they came back, then started spinning again.
Back then, you were spinning with the legends like Faya. Faya was team captain back then for Southside Crew. Marlon, February, Emo, rest in peace. Those were the guys that were basically, leading the challenge or the forefront of spinning back in the day. Considering that you're still a prominent spinner now, how do you feel the progression of spinning with personalities? Oh, how could I forget Jeff James? Obviously, Jeff James, also a prominent spinner from back in that era that is still spinning today. How do you feel the progression of spinning has evolved from back then, which is to 2005 to 2007, to now where we are in 2018? How do you feel about the sport as well as the personalities? Has it evolved? Are the personalities still the same, or have they moved up or become more professional, if you want to call it that?
I think the spinning has evolved like in a very, very, very good way, because from back then to now, spinning has become more professional.
Yeah.
Spinning is no longer done in the street corners. Then now there are venues for spinning. Like there are events every month for spinning.
Not only every month, but almost every single week, across South Africa.
Like spinning is out there. People want to see spinning. Like people want to see spinning like each and every weekend. Like people who stop me and ask me, when is the next event? When is the next event? Are you coming to that particular event or that event? So spinning has grown from back then to now. And speaking of the personalities, well, you get different kind of people and personalities, but as long as they're working for good, reaching one goal, I think it's good for the game.
Remaining on the personalities. So as we've come to know you, you are known as King Gesh as well as the King of Spin. You know, the people gave you that name.
Yes.
So now we got new young guns coming in the game. There's a lot of really good, talented young spinners.
Yes.
One particular spinner also going by King.
Yeah.
King Austin,
yeah.
Also proclaimed by the people. How do you feel about the young spinners that are well below the age of 21, spinning and spinning well? Where do you see them going in 5 years, and how do you feel about them as a complete spinner?
Those boys are very, very energetic, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking of Austin, talking of Sam, talking of Muzi, talking of Bareng, BGP, all the young ones. We even have girl spinners now, Stacy,
young Kaylin,
like
Ellison.
Kaylin, to name a few. But if we had the very same opportunity back then, yeah, it was going to be a different story. But I'm glad that we paved the way for them.
And indeed, Magesh, I've been involved in motorsport as a whole, as you well know, from different genres of motorsport. Yes. Spinning is one of my greatest love. I've done drifting, drag, circuit racing, But I feel that it's exactly what you said. the guys that started spinning on the mainstream or on a commercial platform in the mid to late 2005 through to the year we are now, you guys have done exactly that. You have paved the way. You have brought attention and focus to the sport of spinning. So even though you guys have reaped benefits in your own way, I think the real benefits from a professional sport are going to be being reaped by the young ones, the young teenage spinners. These oaks, in my personal opinion, I see spinning growing in 5 years to a professional sport where the top 10 spinners will be able to live off spinning. And I've got to give you props. I've got to give guys like Jeff James, the guys that have been in the game for a long time. That is what you have done for the youth of today. Not just only in South Africa, but this whole African continent. You know, spinning is blowing up in many ways. Magesh, that's it, man. I just want to say thank you for coming. I really appreciate you coming through. Before you go, I've got one more question. Easy one. What is the greatest memory that you have that spinning has brought you?
Me going to West Bank, like jumping out of the car in front of thousands of people, seeing it for the first time. I don't know, that, you know what, that made Magesh.
Yeah, I got
that made me. So I will cherish that moment and for the rest of my life. And the day when West Bank was closing, it brought tears to my eyes, man.
35,000 people chanting your name and going absolutely crazy.
And I played them for a full, pretended as if my car was dead. I went up. As you were about to close, I came down and I performed like the standard no one has ever performed that day. So, I was like, touched, man. Really, really touched. I'm happy for West Bank, and I want to thank you, Vic.
Bro, salute.
Yeah.
We had to build each other, and we had to build this community. And
if it wasn't for that moment, Magesh would not be here today.
Nah, God has blessed you with a talent. It would have happened just in a different journey.
I thank God because God works in a miraculous way.
Absolutely.
God's timing is way, way different than our timing because God, He's never late nor early. He is always
100%.
But that moment at West Bank, I will cherish that moment for the rest of my life.
Any advice for these young spinners? And when I mean young viewers, I've got to tell you, when I say young, the spinners of today are as young as 11. I've seen an 8-year-old boy spin. Spinners are getting younger and younger with every year. What advice do you have for young spinners, specifically people that are under the age of 21? They are very influenced by mentors as well as a community, as well as the fellow spinners in the pits. What is one key piece of advice that you give to these young people?
Like they mustn't spin with their heart. They mustn't be emotional when they're spinning. They must take it as a game. They mustn't be as a sport. They mustn't be personal. This is a game. Yes, we are competing, but it ends there.
Free from the politics,
free from the
nasty words.
Yes.
Go there. God has blessed you with the talent and do your utmost best.
It's not about you or it's about that other person. It's about entertaining the people.
Magesh Ndaba, always a pleasure and a blessing. Thank you for joining us here at Spin Sessions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you can expect. Every single week, we're going to drop a fresh new podcast, fresh new episode with giant personalities just like Magesh Ndaba. My name is Vic Pardal, loudest white boy on African soil. Thanks for joining me. Hit us up next week, same time, Friday, 9 a.m. We drop that.